Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I am so excited about tonight. Tonight is my home group meeting, and I always have such a good time. I get to go with my best friend, and I get to see a bunch of my other friends, and so I'm really excited about tonight. Tuesdays are, well, I have so many favorite days of the week. Sundays are literally my favorite day of the week because it's just a day to like relax and unwind and prepare for the week ahead. And then Tuesdays I love because it's my home group, you know. I love the weekends. I try to love every day for different reasons, and when I get up in the morning, get excited about whatever this day is going to bring me. So let's get into today's meditations. I brought the Melody Beatty books with me, and I brought the Daily Book of Positive Quotations, as well as A Time to Be Free, Daily Meditations for Enhancing Self-Esteem. I haven't actually read from the Melody Beatty books in a while, so I think I'm going to start with these today. Let's read from The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. This is the sister book to Codependent No More. It is October 12th today. Let's see what the book has to say to us. October 12th, being gentle with ourselves during times of grief. Let's see how long this is. Looks kind of long. The process of adapting to change and loss takes energy. Grief is draining, sometimes exhausting. Some people need to cocoon for transformation, in Pat Carnes' words, while going through grief. We may feel more tired than usual. Our ability to function well in other areas of our life may be reduced, temporarily. We may want to hide out in the safety of our bedroom. Grief is heavy. It can wear us down. It's okay to be gentle with ourselves when we're going through change and grief. Yes, we want to maintain the disciplines of recovery, but we can be compassionate with ourselves. We do not have to expect more from ourselves than we can deliver during this time. We do not even have to expect as much from ourselves as we would normally and reasonably expect. We may need more rest, more sleep, more comfort. We may be more needy and have less to give. It is okay to accept ourselves and our changed needs during times of grief, stress, and change. It is okay to allow ourselves to cocoon during times of transformation. We can surrender to the process and trust that a new, exciting energy is being created within us. Before long, we will take wings and fly. God, help me accept my changed needs during times of grief, change, and loss. And I think this is such a fantastic meditation. And I love that Melody Beatty includes in the whole spectrum of grief, change, and loss, because I think that when we talk about the word grieving or grief, I think we immediately go to the loss of a person that has passed away or a pet that has passed away, you know? But I think that as well in my life, I have experienced huge periods of grief in leaving a job or leaving an apartment, moving to another place, leaving one relationship, you know, and going to another, and or starting a new relationship sometimes are hard as well. Periods of change are hard. I think endings of romantic relationships, endings of friendships, moving from one state to another, having your kids graduate from high school, you know, and all of a sudden they're at college and they're not there anymore and you raised them and did your job, you know. I think those are hard things as well. Just neighborhoods changing, everything changing. You know, I talked about it being my home group tonight. I remember we used to be at a union hall and we're now at a church. And I can remember when we moved from the union hall to the church, that change felt so pivotal and profound, you know, going from one place to the next and not really knowing what to expect. And it didn't feel like home right away, you know. And so it's, I think, anything any change that we go through in our life, any period of loss, is hard, you know, and I think we have to, really pay respect to that change and that loss. I think, you know, especially I think breakups might be the hardest of all of that, you know, when you're going through a breakup with somebody. And I think the reason why is because they're still out there living their life. You can see their pictures on Instagram. I mean, today a breakup looks very different than in my early 20s, you know. In my early 20s, unless I saw them out somewhere, I didn't know what was going on with their life. But today, with Facebook and Instagram and text messages and being able to go through and seeing the facts of your relationship and the pictures and all that kind of stuff, I think people choose to relive the misery and the grief and the pain over and over and over again, which is why, like, with friends of mine, I'm always like, block them on all social media. Well, I know, but I need to be, you know, friends with their family. No, you don't. You're not part of that anymore. And it's like, block them on all social media, delete their number. You don't, unless you have kids together and things like that, you really have no reason to interact with them anymore because it's super painful. And I think it's hard to, you know, see that person out there living a new life with somebody else or with their friends or having fun. And it's like, how can they be having fun when I'm sitting in bed and I'm totally miserable and sad, you know? So I think it's, you know, I think all of that is tough. And I think also when we make choices in our life to like leave a job or leave university or go to a certain college or whatever, or, you know, it's hard. It's like, you know, or like even going from high school to college and moving towns. I mean, we hear about so many people, like so many students, you know, that stay for a semester and then come home because the transition is so difficult for them. Well, that's grief. That's loss, you know. That's grieving what your life once was. And I can remember, like I just talked about this on my vlog not too long ago. The night that I graduated from high school, like I had this overwhelming like feeling, like all my friends were like wanting to go out and party and stuff, and I just really didn't want to. And I just had this overwhelming weird feeling like it's over. Like my entire youth is over now. And I've always felt finality about things, but I can just remember that and being like, I just kind of wanted to be at home with my mom. Like I went out with my friends and stuff and then I came home. I just wanted to be at home with my mom, you know? And I think that's so weird in retrospect, you know, but that's how I felt. And, I wasn't ready for it to be over. I wasn't ready for all of that, you know? And I think that's how it is many times with relationships or friendships or work environments, or even, like I said, when people pass away or pets pass away, it's like that feeling of I don't want it to be over yet, you know? I've talked about this a lot on my vlog, how I just wish that I could stop time sometimes because, you know, when things are so good, it's like, I know that down the road, things are going to be different, people are going to pass, you know, pets are going to pass, and life is going to look different than it does today. And I think one of the things that I've really tried to do in my life is really embrace the positivity of change. And I'm not as afraid of change as I used to be. I used to be the person that would say, I can't stand change, I hate change, because I didn't. And I'm such a creature of comfort. I just, you know, would do the same things every day, and I still kind of do. But at the same time, I've learned to kind of like embrace change and embrace the positivity that comes with that, and being excited about new things and new ventures and meeting new people and having new things in our lives, right? You know, I can remember there was probably a time when if you had said to me, I can remember talking about this in the past with my friends, if you had said to me, if you could just have this day stay like this for the rest of your life, and I would say yes, like immediately. Don't meet another person, just life would stay like this. But, you know, that's really not healthy, and that's really not even a life, honestly, you know, because life is to be lived. And the sadness with that is, that I talk about over here often, is it's the bitter with the sweet, you know, that life has its ups and downs. It has its good days, it has its bad days, it has its, you know, jubilous moments, and it has its tragic moments. And that's life, you know. And would we really know the great days if we didn't have some of the bad days in between? I don't know, you know. I don't know that I want to go through and relive all of the tragedies that I've had in my life, you know, and all the loss that I've had in my life. But at the same time, I want to appreciate all of it for a life well lived, you know. So, good meditation today. All right, let's get into Journey to the Heart, Melody Beatty's meditation book, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. October 12th. Okay. October 12th. Trust yourself to know what's right. Sometimes we find ourselves with people or in places we can't adapt to. No matter how hard we try, no matter how much we want it to, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't fit. We are trying to jam the proverbial square peg into the round hole. Only what we are trying to jam isn't a block of wood, it's us. Sometimes in situations like these, we revert to old ways of thinking, believing, and feeling. There must be something wrong with me if I don't like this, if this isn't working. If I try harder, control my emotions, jam a little harder, the square peg, me, will fit. Those are the times we may begin to feel confused, weak, scattered, uncertain. We abandon ourselves. Our emotions disappear. Our passion wanes. We may begin sleeping, escaping, drifting further and further away. Our soul begins squirming in reaction to what we're trying to force ourselves to do. We may become physically ill. It's as though we're allergic to our surroundings. Sometimes we may spend years in this process, depending on what we're afraid to face or what we're afraid to lose. Other times, this process may only last hours or days. We can take as much time as we need to listen and take care of ourselves. But if we love ourselves, we won't torture ourselves for long because we know we don't have to. If a place or person or situation doesn't work for us, that's okay. We don't have to punish ourselves. We don't have to go away from ourselves. We can leave the situation. Trust yourself, your body, and your soul to know what's right for you. Learn to feel the energy of a situation, place, or person. If something feels right, you feel in harmony mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If it doesn't feel right, don't abandon yourself. Leave the situation. Try something else until you do feel right. You may not always know at first when a thing, place, or person is wrong for you, but if you listen to your body and trust your heart, you can learn to tell when it's right. You know, I'm a person that waits way too long to decide if a situation is not right for me. And, you know, whether it's a friendship or a living environment or whatever, I am somebody that just waits until the very bitter end, you know? And I had a friend of mine back in the day, and she literally would change jobs like once a month. And so when I would talk to her, I'd be like, so what's going on? And she'd be like, oh, you know, like I just started this new job. And I'd be like, you just started a new job? You were just working in this other job like a month ago. And she'd start laughing and she'd say, I know, but like I started it and I just didn't really like it. And the hours were too early for me. She finally found something that she loves doing, you know? And she's been there for a really long time, but it took her a while. And the thing I loved most about it, because I'm totally not that person, right? Like I'm like, if I sign up for something, like I'm on it, you know what I mean? For the duration. And, I don't know, it's just like I think in my youth, because of my using and stuff, I wasn't a very committed person to things. So today I try to be very committed to the things that I make a commitment to. But I can remember that she was completely unapologetic about it. She just would be like, yeah, I'd say, well, what did you say to your boss? And she'd say, I just go to them and say, this isn't working. Like, this isn't a good fit for me. You know, I don't know why today that's still so funny to me, you know. And she literally went from coffee shops to Xerox companies to insurance companies. I mean, she just went from thing to thing to thing, you know, and she'd just be like, yeah, this just isn't a good fit for me. But she finally did find something that she loves doing, you know. But I just look back on that and I just think like, I wish sometimes I didn't care enough, you know. I think I care too much about... In those situations, I'm really always more concerned about the other person's reaction than my own. And I guess like in the last 5-10 years, I've learned to care less about what other people think and care more about what's best for me. And I think that's probably the lesson from it, you know, is to be more concerned and worry more and be more concerned about yourself than what is, you know. I don't know. Nobody loves a martyr. You know, we don't always have to be worried about other people. We have to take care of ourselves first. That's the lesson, right? Is to take care of ourselves first before we can be there for somebody else. So anyway, good meditation today. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.